Hello, my name is Camden and welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy to have you here today. As you can probably already see, this week's video is my July reading journal wrap up. I got a comment a month or two ago asking if I could show the process of how I make the stickers for my reading journal, so that is what you are seeing on screen right now. Basically, I just go to Goodreads, I download the image of the covers, paste that into a Google document, I adjust the size. I did not plan out what size I wanted these to be exactly ahead of time before I printed off my reading journal. I kind of used rectangle shapes that I thought looked great on the page and then figured I would measure them when it got printed out. So these numbers are a little bit random. And then I use the Avery shipping labels, the full size pages, to print them off, bring it to Staples, cost me 70 cents. There it is, beautiful. I'm glad somebody wanted to see this process because honestly, this video needed to be beefed up a little bit. I only read 2 books and DNF'd 1 book this month, so without that request, it would have been a really sad, short video. I promise though, I am working on redeeming myself in August. I've already read more books and we're only 1 week into the month, so I'm well on my way. As you can see, I'm just cutting these stickers to size. Since we're doing a behind the scenes on basically everything, I thought I'd also show you a little behind the scenes of how I take the thumbnail photo. Just organizing these as I see fit and then snap the picture and I'll edit the rest together in Canva. Okay, finally we're into the reading journal. I am just coloring in my 2 sad little book icons to represent the number of books I read this month. I chose this like teal green pen. I try to match whatever marker I use to the cover of at least one of the books that I read, but sadly it looks very similar, even though it's not exactly the same as the marker from the month before last month. So just, you know, it's a little bit of a train wreck in this video, but please ignore. As you can see, I'm working on the did not finish page here. The book that I did not finish this month was The Enchanted Hacienda by J.C. Cervantes, I think is the name. Moving on to my representation in reading page. I'm trying to get caught up on this one because I feel like I neglected it for a number of months. So this time I read a book with a trans main character, so that is the title that I am creating with my little label maker. That book, of course, was The Sunbearer Trials by Aiden Thomas, so I'm just pasting that little sticker on there. We are moving through this video so fast today. So moving on to summer bingo, I am checking off a Regency romance. Okay, this one's a little bit of a cheat because I did read the Davenports and I thought it was going to be Regency romance. It was not. The time period is different. It may be like more so Victorian era. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not great with my era names, but I am counting it as Regency romance because listen, your girl needs a win, so just go along with it. Next, I'm working on my July releases page. I'm just going through and adding all of the dates for the calendar section. And I'm just going through and adding in all of the books that were released in July that I'm really interested in reading. All of these books are things that you can find in my most anticipated seasonal videos. So I do a most anticipated releases for spring, summer, fall, winter, depending on the season. On to my summer bookshelf, which at the 2/3 of the way through is looking really sad and empty, so I'm gonna have to really bust my butt in August to fill this shelf out and make it look better. And moving on to the reviews, the first book that I read in the month of July was The Davenports by Crystal Marquis. This book was quite an interesting experience for me. I started off really enjoying it. We're following from the perspective of 4 young women who are living in Chicago. All of them are Black, and 3 out of the 4 are quite wealthy and part of the elite society in Chicago. We are following love stories among each of them. My main gripe with the plot of this book is that every single couple that we're following is for one reason or another not supposed to be together, and that plot point multiplied 4 times just started to feel a bit repetitive to me. I felt like we could have done without 1 to 2 of the perspectives that were in this book. I particularly liked reading from both of the sisters, and I kind of felt like reading from the perspective of the maid added some benefit, but I really did not see the benefit to reading from Ruby's perspective. And I also kind of felt like one of the other 3 perspectives could also have been cut just to save on time and just so we could have developed the stories that we had a little bit more. I ended up giving it a 3-star, which is just kind of average. There is another book coming out and I probably will not read it, but that depends, I guess, on people's reviews. If they think it was way better than the first book, I may check it out. The next book that I read in July, and the only other book I read in July, was The Sunbearer Trials by Aiden Thomas. Now, this one is one of my 5-star predictions, and it turns out that I was, in fact, correct. I gave this one a 5 out of 5. We are following a main character named Tio, who is the son of a bird goddess. This book was really fun. It had a competition element as we are following the Sunbearer Trials, as the book is titled, which is a trial to figure out who is going to be the next Sunbearer that lights the lanterns in the Temple of the Gods, and who is going to be the human sacrifice needed for the ritual in order to light the lanterns. So, very high stakes. This book was super fun and I really enjoyed the process of reading it. I particularly enjoyed the character of Tio. He is quite a troublemaker and he is considered to be a lower level god, so it's quite surprising to everyone when he is actually included in the Sunbearer Trials. So he definitely has a lot to prove going into the competition, and I thought he handled himself very well while still being a very fun character to follow and interact with. A lot of the side characters were also really fun. Tio is also a trans character, and I thought that the way that transness was handled in this book was so beautiful and such a difference from kind of the reality that we are living in right now. Cannot wait to read the sequel. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please like, share, comment, subscribe. I will see you all next week with a new video. Goodbye.